Do you like butter? I know I do. I love it on my toast and in my cookies in particular. It's pretty yummy stuff. I'm Laura Busby with Washington State Parks, and today we're going to take a slippery adventure through butter. And I'd like to first thank the Ellensburg Public Library for asking me to share this adventure with you in imagining our story this summer. Are you ready for an adventure? We're gonna jump back in time and visit Sarah Olmstead in 1895 while she makes some butter. And then we're gonna jump back to our time and make some butter of our very own. Stick around. We're gonna go find out all about butter here at Olmstead Place State Park. Are you ready to jump? We're gonna jump back in time. Get your arms swinging, and back we jump. Woo-hoo! Well, hi neighbor. I'm Sarah Olmstead. Nice to meet you. Why don't you sit for a bit? I'm busy making some butter here. I got started early this morning, about 5 o'clock, and so I need to keep on working on the butter here. What, you've never made butter before? Well, let me show you how. The first thing you need to do is milk the cows, and we've got a really nice herd of Jersey dairy cattle out back. So you go out and milk the cattle, and then you bring the milk in. You have to let the milk sit. So I put the milk in pans and let it sit overnight or for a while until it separates. The cream inside the milk comes to the top of the pan and the milk stays down in the bottom. So then I just use my skimmer here and skim out that cream and to put it in my churn so I can make that cream into the butter that we all love so much. Well, I better get back to churning here. It won't churn itself. Takes a lot of elbow grease and quite a bit of time to do a big amount of milk like this and get it turned into butter. Goodness gracious, this churning is hard work. Maybe I need a little chant to get the butter to turn. Come, butter, come. Come, butter, come. Peter's standing at the gate, waiting for a buttered cake. Come, butter, come. Maybe you can join me and we'll do it once together. Are you ready? Come, butter, come. Come, butter, come. Peter's standing at the gate, waiting for a buttered cake. Come, butter, come. Oh, so you need to go for a little bit? Well, that's fine. I'll just be here churning. You want some help, you say, getting back where you're going? You need me to jump? Okay, I guess I can do that. Which way do I need to jump? Up and down, back and forth, to the left. Okay, here we go. You ready? Jump! Why did the Olmsteads care about butter? Well, they had a dairy farm, and that was how they made their money. They milked cows, made a lot of butter, and sent that butter to Seattle so that people who lived in the city and didn't have cows could buy their butter. In order to make your own butter at home, you'll need some ingredients. One of them is heavy whipping cream. Another one is a jar. You may also decide that you want to add some salt. And lastly, you'll need a bowl and running water, which the Olmsteads didn't have. Are you ready to jump?
Jump.
So once I get the butter out of the churn, after all of that elbow grease, I'm going to pour out the buttermilk and take out the butter. It'll just be in chunks. And when I put that butter all in a bowl like this one, and I have some very cold water, and I use that cold water to wash the butter.
Here's some of the equipment that Sarah would have used to make butter. Her family also would have used a much larger churn like this one with a crank handle to make a lot of butter for sale. That butter that they made for sale, they would pack into a press like this one with a logo in it at the top. So when they pressed that down into the butter itself would have the name of their creamery on it. This 5-gallon milk jug is one way they could have moved a lot of milk around. Hey, let's get back to making our own butter.
So you put some heavy whipping cream in your jar and make sure that the lid is on nice and tight. And then you're going to use that elbow grease and shake. Shake that jar, and it's going to take maybe 7 or 10 minutes to actually get to butter. So keep shaking for a while. Yep, I'm still shaking. How about you? I've got whipped cream after about 7 minutes. It's definitely like whipped cream in there now. See? Oh, it's still a little bit runny, but it's definitely, I'd put it on my pie. It's going from whipped cream to an even lumpier consistency. You can see it's pretty lumpy. It's not spilling out as I turn it sideways. This is exciting. Okay, I'm trying to make it butter. I'm really shaking. It hardly shakes. It gets to the point where it doesn't seem like there's any shaking going on in there at all. But oh, it looks different in there, doesn't it? We're getting there. Ah! Wow, it just changed really fast. Oh my gosh, it went from that, what I just showed you a minute ago, to butter. Look at that butter in there. There's a little glare, sorry. Look at that butter in there in the buttermilk. All right, here it is. The butter. Oh my gosh, look at that. And there's some buttermilk down in the bottom of the jar. Almost looks like ice cream, like I could just eat it like that. So after you pull your butter out of the buttermilk, you're going to want to put it in your bowl with cold, cold water. You can even use ice if you like. And rinse until that buttermilk is all out of the butter. So you're going to actually squeeze the butter a little bit and manipulate it around until you get all that butter fat out, and the water runs clear, and you just have your cold piece of butter left. Once you've gotten all the buttermilk out of your butter, you want to put some salt in, just a little salt to make it taste better. Mix that all in, and then here comes the creative part. Now you've got this nice chunk of butter, nice chilled chunk, and you can use all kinds of different tools and make it into whatever you want. You can become a butter sculptor. That actually is a thing. Through many years of history, there are many people who have sculpted butter as art, and you should look it up. There's some crazy stuff on the internet. State fairs are one of the places where we see this a lot. Great big giant 600-pound cows made out of butter. So use your artistic creativity and turn it into whatever you want. I just kind of made a typical stick of butter with mine.
Are you ready to jump? Let's jump!
I'm so glad you stopped by today. It was really nice to meet you. I look forward to seeing you the next time, maybe in town. Oh, before you go, I've got some warm biscuits with nice homemade, just freshly made butter for you to take on your trip. And let's not forget the most important step at all. Put some of that butter on one of your favorite pieces of bread, or turn it into a cookie like this. And enjoy. That's really good.
Thanks for joining me today here at Olmstead Place Historical State Park and jumping through time to visit Sarah Olmstead and learn about making butter back in the 1890s and a little bit about how we can make it even in our own homes today. I hope you enjoyed this time we had together today, and make sure to go and look up butter and learn more about butter and ranching and homesteaders here in Kittitas Valley at your local Ellensburg Public Library. Thanks for joining me today at Olmstead Place State Park. I hope you had as much fun as I did. We look forward to seeing you at the park sometime soon.